South China Morning Post, 18th of February 2023, the disguised troop carriers, the first vessel built in China's cruise ship sector, won't launch for several months. China is renowned for producing technology that can be used for military and civilian purposes. Cruise ships are one example of troop transport ships. Later this year, China plans to debut its first domestic cruise ship, troop transport ships, making the country's entry into a market long dominated by European shipyards. Additionally, it is a significant move toward lowering its reliance on outside resources. What is the troop transport ship, China's first sailing ship, and when will it launch? The H-1508, as the ship is known, holds the honor of being China's first domestic cruise ship. The project started in October 2019. It is anticipated to be afloat by May, according to accounts in the state media. According to Shanghai Waigaoqiao Shipbuilding, the ship's manufacturer, sea trials will begin in July, and by the end of 2023, the ship will have a name and be shipped. Various accounts in the state media claim that the cruise ship's construction is about 90% complete. The Post tried unsuccessfully this week to contact Waigaoqiao and officials in the Shanghai Pilot Free Trade Zone because the troop ship's specifics are being kept a secret. More sailing ships to be produced in China? Or troop transport? Yes, China is constructing the H-1509, a second cruise/troop carrier ship that will be even bigger than the first. It has been in development since the previous year. Who will receive the first sailing ships built in China when they are finished? A joint venture between Carnival, one of the biggest cruise companies in the world, and China State Shipbuilding Corporation, CSSC, put the orders for the two cruise ships. The megaships are being built at the shipyard of Shanghai Waigaoqiao Shipbuilding, a subsidiary of CSSC, under a deal signed with Italian shipbuilding behemoth Fincantieri. What do we know about the first domestic sailing ship in China? The first cruise ship built in China will be 16 stories tall, have more than 2,000 cabins, and hold more than 5,000 passengers. According to its creator, it will have many entertainment options, including eateries, bars, shopping centers, art galleries, and spas. The shipbuilder claimed the vessel's 4,200 kilometers long cable arrangement, 2,610 miles. In contrast, it is roughly 4,650 kilometers, km, from China's easternmost city of Fuyuan in the Heilongjiang province to its westernmost town of Kashgar in Xinjiang. Why is the debut of a cruise ship in China a significant deal? China will remain the world's biggest shipbuilding country, with a combined gross tonnage of about 40.6 million in 2021. But the only category of cutting-edge, high-value ships China hasn't yet manufactured is big cruise ships. As China continues to make significant strides towards increasing its self-reliance in essential industries, the delivery of the H-1508 and H-1509 is expected to mark a breakthrough in the country's shipbuilding industry and its advanced manufacturing efforts. Due to the complex manufacturing process and needed technologies, large cruise ships, often called floating cities, are among the most challenging and intricate to construct. China's ambitious entry into the cruise ship business is also reflected in the joint ventures between CSSC, Carnival, and Fincantieri. Why is it so challenging to construct sailing ships? A cruise ship must be built complexly using millions of suppliers' components. According to CSSC, the H-1508 vessel requires 25 million components, 5 times as many as the C-919 passenger jet and 13 times as many as the Fuxing high-speed train. Cruise ship supplies and materials must meet specified requirements. Glasses, for instance, must be thinner, and curtains and rugs must be lighter. Elevators and central air conditioning must also possess specific qualities to accommodate thousands of passengers and adhere to worldwide standards for the cruise business. Making a cruise ship from scratch and creating an entire business is no easy task for China. Few domestic suppliers have the expertise to manufacture particular cruise ship parts or are familiar with global industry standards. Most supplies assembled on board the vessel must be imported, increasing the already high cost. Historically, most cruise ship construction occurred in European shipyards, so these standards originated and developed there. It may be very challenging for Chinese factories to change their standards when materials, like steel angles, are sometimes established according to the standards of local manufacturers. Chinese shipyards would have difficulty adopting the norms and creating components from scratch. Their only option is to purchase the materials directly from Europe, study them, and attempt to close the technical gap while establishing a domestic supply chain that will ultimately support local manufacturing. Along with the challenges in manufacturing, obtaining certifications is a very tough task. Cruise ships must abide by each nation's unique safety and environmental regulations when they make port calls due to their worldwide voyage. This covers everything, from alarms to sewage and evacuation devices. Why is China just now getting into the cruise liner business? Stated, the Chinese cannot access this enormous market without offering steep discounts. The cruise business in China has experienced a rapid expansion since Costa Cruises became the first foreign cruise line to depart from China in 2006. Cruises are becoming increasingly popular in large cities like Shanghai, Tianjin, and Guangzhou, as well as comparatively smaller ones like Chengdu, Qingdao, and Xiamen. According to the most recent estimates from the Shanghai International Shipping Institute from 2015, China has long been predicted to become the world's largest cruise market, potentially by 2030, with 8 million to 10 million passengers traveling there annually. Chinese tourists contributed the most to global tourism before the worldwide epidemic. According to the Ministry of Culture and Tourism, 155 million Chinese tourists traveled overseas in 2019 and spent about $254.6 billion. That works out to $1,643 on average per traveler. Who are the top cruise ship manufacturers in the world? Few European shipyards produce most passenger ships, including Italy's Fincantieri shipyard, Germany's Meyer, and France's Atlantic shipyard.